she ran from pillar to post looking for him because the police at the Vatur police station denied that he was taken to the station. So she didn't know whether he was alive or dead. She went from one police station to the other looking for her son, not knowing what had happened to him. Finally, and she spent every day in the station as well to try to find out where he was. Finally, on the third day of his illegal custody, Salman saw his mother through the khidki, through a window, in his words, and he screamed out Amma, and he was brutally beaten for screaming out to her as well. But that's the only reason why she knew that her son was being kept in the Vatur police station. And day after day, she pleaded with them to release him. And from Salman Khan's perspective of everything that had happened, there was an allegation that he had committed theft of car batteries. It's a petty crime.
Right.
And certain informants had informed the police that he might have been involved in the sale of these stolen batteries. So he was taken in allegedly for an inquiry. And the police tried to get him to confess to stealing more batteries, and which he didn't do. It's not a crime that he committed, so he refused to confess to it. Why must you confess to a crime that you have never committed, right? So when he refused to confess to crimes that he hadn't committed, they beat him up, they tortured him, they really thrashed him, and they also tried to extort money from him. In his own words, a couple of other boys, young Muslim men from the area, were also beaten up and brought into the station. And some of them were able to pay this money to the police, which is why they were let go. But they asked Salman Khan to pay 50,000. And he is a vendor in a meat shop. He earns a daily wage. He comes from an extremely poor and marginalized background. He studied only till the fifth grade in a Kannada medium school. He wasn't able to study further because of his socio-economic marginalization. So he didn't have this sort of money, neither did his family. So they kept him in custody for 5 days. And the narration of the torture itself is the most horrific finding of our inquiry into these incidents. In Salman's own words, they tied a rod behind his back using ropes and tied him to that rod so as to put him in excruciating pain for several days. They tied ropes to his toes and suspended him for several hours and several days so as to torture him. And of course, they beat him up, they punched him, they slapped him, they used their lathis on him. And when Salman refused to confess, they began stomping on him with their boots, those black boots. And they kicked him and stomped on his right hand so hard that it swelled up to twice its size. And that was what ultimately led to his hand having to be amputated.
Yeah. A
Because
shocking
a
thing
thing
that
that
we
we
found
found was also that the police themselves had taken Salman to the hospital twice because they had injured him so much that he had lost consciousness. He was puking blood. He had abdominal pain, and they themselves took him to hospital. And it is quite suspicious that there's a government hospital less than 200 meters away from the station, but they took him to a private hospital that's quite a few kilometers away from the station. It's called the Suraksha Specialty Hospital, and over there they apparently treated him only for the abdominal pain. But we have taken bills from the hospital. They've given us bills where they've given him a hand pouch because his hand had gotten so injured that he had to put his hand in that sling, um, so because he couldn't handle it himself. And ultimately his mother had taken him to this city hospital as well, where they were unable to treat him. Then they took him to the Vaidehi hospital, where the police, according to the family, have come and at night and forcibly taken Salman's thumb impression on a blank sheet of paper. And they have also threatened the family of dire consequences. And they've told them, if you don't sign, then we're going to take your son back and put another case against him. And they've made the mother and father sign on a blank sheet of paper as well. And they've made them, sorry, not a, they made him put his thumb impression on a blank sheet of paper. And they made them sign a statement saying that this is a self-fall case. And that's exactly what Mr. Somshekhar, the inspector, told us as well. That it's a he gave us three different versions actually. One version that he told us was that this is a self-fall case, right? That he himself has fallen down, and that's why he's gotten injured. The second thing that he told us was because he works in a meat shop, perhaps he sustained some injuries from there. And the third thing that he told us was that Salman Khan might have been taking drugs, which is why his hand got infected. And that itself is also shocking because Salman's dominant hand is his right hand. He uses that hand for work and for general daily life. And it would be impossible for him to have utilized the right hand to inject drugs into the right hand. And that's something we put to the inspector as well, but he didn't answer that question.
Intimidation of victims and their families, unclear data, and arbitrary arrests are just a small part of what seems to be a big issue of police brutality in the state of Karnataka, especially in recent times. For such a big issue, is suspension of police officers enough? Activists don't seem to think so. This is Vaishnavi Suresh, and you're watching Mojo Story.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.